Alright, hi everybody, welcome to Descartes Gaming. We are spectating a 1v1 game here. We've got Hadixo Tyranids and SnS Orcs. So you got top right, top bottom left. Relics are gonna be bottom right and top left, and there's one in the middle. So pretty, equal playing ground. Top left is damage, bottom right is damage. So yeah, it's basically damage in the corners and better economy in the center. The relic is more closer to orc. So no sir might take advantage of that. We'll see. Oh gosh, sir's got his Arctic science. Double Arctic science. Okay. So if he wants to go super tech, he could definitely do that this game. So Tyranids is kind of a slower faction per se for early game. They don't have very good early game map control because most Tyranid players go fast early 3 base Tyranids. That makes up in the mid game basically. You can kind of overpower your opponent in the mid game, but kind of pretty weak in the early game. Orc can go fairly aggressive in the early game and mid game. So it'd be interesting to see if Orc is going to do Cult of Speed build here from SnS. That's sort of his comfort zone, I think, as of late. He likes to do the Cult of Speed build. Will he throw heroes into the mix? Starting off with a book first orc. So yeah, he's definitely going to be going for some, probably, I would say book first orc is, yeah, probably going the Cult of Speed build to get to air, to get to the higher tech quicker, if I had to make a guess. And I'm going to try not to predict the win or loss outcome because I was totally wrong on the last game I was spectating. So I feel pretty embarrassed by that. Skill level, these players are fairly, I would say their skill set is pretty much equally matched, in the fact that they're both pretty smart players when it comes to tactics. Their economies and build orders a little bit different from each other, but they're I would say they're definitely competent and know what they're doing. SnS is really scary orc player, especially when he does his Cult of Speed build. And I haven't seen Hadixo play Tyranid, so we'll see how good he plays him. So when we click on a unit, we get the line of vision from that player. So everything they can see on the screen here, minus the mini map. All right, so barracks first from Tyranids. I think that's not normal. I think they like to go book first to try to get the 3 city quickly. So he might be trying some type of Demos aggression Tyranid build. Maybe he rushes what do you call those guys? I forget the unit. Term. So Venom. Tyranid Warriors. Yes. Okay, that's the one I was thinking. So maybe we're going to see a very unorthodoxy rush maybe here from Tyranids, perhaps. Barracks first. Or maybe Hadixo is just doing something just not the norm with Tyranids. We'll see. I mean, the Tyranid Warriors actually have pretty good armor. So they're pretty tanky. So against like bikes and Deathcopters, it might be a good unit against that type of rock, scissors, paper. But you can see just with the Arctic start with science, he's at 24. So pretty good right there. And compared to only 7. Alright, so this is a very interesting Tyranid build. I've not seen this one before. So this Tyranid build that Hadixo is going for kind of looks like more like a map control early build for Tyranids. Because he did barracks first, so be interesting to see how that works out for him. And SnS is building the mech bits yard. So that's going to allow him to expand quickly. There's a lot of stingwings in that area. Yeah, fresh one. Oh, he didn't have the rally point on. Or did he? 1, 2, 3. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, he didn't have enough movement. For some reason I thought Termagants had 4 movement. All right. Yeah, so not too much going on right now. Just pretty much early game clearing wildlife here. So, you know, I mean, these early turns do matter a lot. Like the type of buildings you go for, the initial first few buildings you go for, does play a pretty critical role on how you set yourself up for the mid game. And like I've always said in some of my streams that investing early in a early army is not a bad thing, because I know a lot of players like to go like super high science, but then they have a very small army in the beginning of the game. The benefit of getting early army in the game is it allows you to get more outposts, more map control outposts, maybe better scouting on the enemy. So it's it's definitely something I think gets overlooked. Plus, possibly you could rush your enemy. What I mean by rush in the early game is generally try to catch your opponent off guard and maybe take 1 or 2 of his troops out and then capture his outpost. So It's something because I noticed on Discord a lot of the so-called best builds. Everyone likes to go book first for every faction, and I'm not saying book first isn't really good. I think it can be really good in certain situations, but I feel like that's sort of like the popular thing with most people is book first. But for me, I'm not a huge fan of book first. I don't know. I like getting the early production going early to get map control and control the map better and get relics faster and everything. But I guess if you have a certain strategy, like there's certain strategies you might want to rush to, then book first would probably be a good choice. All right, so now we're going with a hero building. Wow, so this might be a all-in rush from Tyrannid. So here's what I'm thinking. If I had to guess, he either is gonna go the Tervagon or he's gonna go the Prime, and he's going to try to get a good early army and push SnS before SnS can get his huge cultist speed army up and running. That's my prediction. I think that's what Hadixo is kind of going here, based on what I'm seeing by the Tyrannid player, if I had to make a presumption. I mean, I don't, like, if he doesn't rush to SnS's territory, I'm not sure if it's going to pay off for him, because SnS is going to get his 3 bases a lot earlier. So his eco for the mid to late game will be better than Tyrannid's, because Tyrannid's is going more for production and now for hero building. So we'll see. This is really interesting. This is not the normal Tyrannid. Okay, so this is interesting. He's going with the Paladaka, which is not the Cultist Speed. Okay, so that's very, very. So here's my thinking. SnS might be thinking that Tyranids is going to go monster on him. So the monsters like Carnifexes and other monster creatures from Tyranids, they have generally a high. They're kind of tanky. They have fairly high armor. So if he does Cultist Speed, he's not going to be able to really deal with that type of unit. So my thinking here is he's going Paladaka probably to get tank busters, if I had to make an assumption. And that's more to counter the possibility of the monster build from Tyrannid. So we are seeing a Prime, okay? So if he's going Prime, he's definitely going to unlock Tyrannid Warriors. That's probably my prediction. Yeah, and what really makes this game, Gladius, so interesting is that you can really be creative with, your tactics, doing different build orders, going for different tech, and that's what gives this game a lot of replayability. Because if you were just set on a very linear kind of tech tree, there's no choices, or there's only one barracks or whatever, then pretty much old games would pretty much play out all the same. But the cool part about Gladius is, you can do a lot of interesting kind of strategies or build orders Kind of like, it reminds me of like StarCraft. Like you have different meta strategies, different unit compositions. So, yeah. So we got, here we go. I guess he's going to run back with that guy. He's got to be careful. These two crew hounds, if they attack the same target, that might actually delete a orc boy. All right, is he gonna be okay? He might be eating. He might be eating his stuff to get prime out quicker. I'm not sure here. Yep. Okay, so oh, he did that to get the production building. Building that produces. Okay, that's his expansion building. Okay. So that's pretty standard from Tyranids. You want to rush that. So I don't know if this, because I know Hadixo played Demos, and I think he played Demos's Tyranids, and I think he lost maybe to this sort of bit. I don't know if it was this build, but he did say he faced Tyranid warriors. He wasn't ready for it. So maybe this is what we're kind of seeing, something like this. One, two, three. So he doesn't want to rush the Melanthorpe, I guess. Okay. All right, so the first mech boy is going to be coming out. I wonder where, I mean, I think he does see another 40% right here. I know Cernosor loves his research playing Orc. We'll see if he goes for that. Where are these going to go? So loyalty relic right there for your, right there for the taking. So Orc has to be a little bit careful around enslavers. Just that enslavers could come in, mind control one by moving right to it. Some factions, the enslaver has to start their turn by unit to mind control it, but they have low morale, so but the thing is, if there's two healthy orcs, they can kind of, well, I mean, especially with grenades, if they have grenades unlocked. So 104. Oh, he did get the Turbogon research, so we are gonna see Turbogons, it looks like. Because I believe Prime's our default hero. So Prime and a Turbogon. Well, Prime, that does go well, that the Turbogon heals. All right. So that loyalty relic is SnS. So if you want to secure a loyalty relic, just put your base right beside it. Ugh. Okay. Comes the Prime. He's got bracers already. I assume we're gonna see Turbogon being produced. All right, so I will be back in a few minutes. I'll probably come back at turn 30, and I'll start doing more commentary. I'm gonna go grab something to eat. right, Jeskai is back to commentate. Turn 26. Pretty much nothing going on. Too much. Each player's got their 3 base up. Orc is going the Paladaka route, so no cultist speed build against Tyranids. But it looks like Orc's going to be getting closer and closer. Still has not made contact with Tyranids. Tyranids looks to be farming the corner with Prime. Tervagon is out. And what's the research? 21. Only 3 bases. And then you got what? Almost 40. Turn 20. Oof. Well, he's got an Arctic start, so that's pretty big. Pasture and influence. So looks like he'll be getting influence. 23 per turn. Now, are we gonna see tank busters? I thought he would have went Tyranid warriors, or yeah, he did not go that route. Okay, but he's going Hermagons, I think. Okay. All right, so we do have first contact here. Hadixo sees. No, actually, Hadixo does not see the orc. Actually, we do not have first contact. They both are in the fog of war. He's in the fog of war in the trees. But they're getting very close to each other. Alright. So he will beat Tyranids to the science outpost, it looks like. Oh man, they're getting so close to each other. Wow, he doesn't want to explore that? Alright, so skipping tank busters, going I guess to flash gets and killicans. And maybe he's going to figure out what type of build he's up against. Is it Tyranid infantry or Tyranid monster? If it's infantry, I assume killicans. If it's monster, maybe flash kits is what he's gonna go, but we know that it's infantry. Now he does see an outpost taken here. Okay. Alright, now we got first contact. Orc player does not have first contact, but Tyranids does. Alright, he's getting himself in position to counterattack here. Alright, so Orc sees the Tyranid. Tyranid sees the North base with the relic here. See some more boys here. So he's moved all his stuff. Oh, Cliff. That hurts. Okay. Going to... Alright, so, I mean, as far as map control goes, the Tyranid player sort of has a little bit more map control, but the Orc player does have a loyalty relic in his possession. But yeah, it's not a big. I think. Does it tell us? Be cool if it told you how many number of outposts each player has. That'd be really cool. But I worry for Hadixo because Orc has a really good research compared to just 25 from Tyranids. So Demetrolic will help him in a big battle here if he can get it. All right, I will be back. I'll jump back once the big battle commences. I gotta do a couple things, so I'll just let this autoplay. Okay, guys, I'm back again. Looks like we got the first sort of real engagement happening in the middle here, or towards Tyrannid's territory. Uh, it's not looking good for Hadixo because you've got a higher tier Mega Knobs on the playing field here, and Grenade Orpoise trade a lot better. They can one-shot Hermagods, one-shot Termagants with a full squad. So got to be a little bit careful. I mean, Tyrannid Warriors. Some other units a little bit better in this matchup to, you know, I think SnS has the advantage just with Orc Boys with grenades against this type of spam. So we'll see what's going to happen here. Raveners made their appearance, but I think grenades, yeah, do pretty good versus Raveners. A grenade and then a melee kills them. Oh gosh. Yeah, so orcs are really eating up Tyrannids. I mean, Tyrannids has a lot of chaff units, but they're just getting munched on by the orc onslaught here. See, I kind of feel like Tyrannids, like their chaff unit is way better versus like mech armies, and I'll explain why. Because you can overwhelm mech armies like tanks, even dreadnoughts, and they can't. Those type of units cannot delete all the high modeled stuff. Like they need infantry or some anti-infantry type unit. So I feel like they're not, the Tyrannid chaff units are some of the best units in certain situations. Like you're playing against like I said, vehicles. They're actually pretty good at bogging down the army, even doing some damage. But against orc boys with grenades, not a good matchup in my opinion. I mean, he finally got one kill, but he's already lost like a lot of units, and his army sort of is not even joined together here. So you got SnS fighting with his whole army, and then Hadixo is kind of fractured in the corner here. Yeah, I mean, he's building Raveners now, but it's kind of late. He needs a lot more Raveners at this stage of the game. Yeah, he didn't do book first Tyrannid, so kind of explains. Plus, he went hero. Heroes aren't really itemized, just bracer. Mega Knobs, like look at the Mega Knob damage to a prime. Yeah, because I believe he has almost wall level 10, so Mega Knobs wall level 10 are pretty insane. I expect maybe a GG coming soon here, because I'm just seeing lots of Tyrannids dying every single turn. And Orc has not really lost one unit so far. Yeah, I think Hadixo needs to go back to the drawing board when it comes to Tyrannids here. It didn't quite work out for him with what he was trying to do. I thought he was gonna do something totally different and maybe rush Orc and rush him with maybe like a prime and Tyrannid warriors. Like I thought that's what we were gonna see, but yeah, we didn't get that. I mean, the Termagots get a little bit better when they're by the Turvagon. 50% more attacks. Oh, then the wildlife takes his damage relic. Yeah, this is definitely not Hadixo's strongest game. This is kind of one-sided. And then you've got a battle wagon to top it off that he can load up a bunch of mega knobs in, which is... And the nice thing about these battle wagons is they're extremely tanky. Like, a lot of armor, a lot of HP. So they're pretty safe for like loading lots of troops in a transport. You need a lot of firepower to like bring this down. So he's gonna set up for an alpha strike here with the battle wagon. But yeah, Hadixo is kind of a newer player. But I think he has a lot of potential to be one of the top players in the game. If he sticks to it. He's playing a lot of different factions, so it's sometimes hard to a lot of players have their favorite factions and they know the factions really well. So I think in this case Raveners are good per se versus Orc, but with Mega Knobs out and you got a battle wagon, I don't think the Raveners are gonna be enough at this point, but we'll see. I could be wrong. I was wrong with the Demos game. Alright, so we're going to witness a classic battle wagon alpha strike here. Probably. He's going to use his front line first. And then move in the battle wagon. Battle wagon has a thing called assault vehicle, which means units that come out of the vehicle have their full movement. So it's pretty good for alpha striking. And then you got Here We Go that could be, used on your units. Alright, so I assume he's going to kill the Prime. Let's see. Well, he's got to be careful. If he can't kill this unit, then he gets zoned. And I think a grenade can... Oh, no, he can come... Okay, forget that. He can come outside this way. Yeah, I'm forgetting that he has his full movement. I'm thinking of a normal transport. So at this point in the game, Hadixo just wants to get a little bit more information on... But I think it's the writing's on the wall here. I really don't see Hadixo coming back from this. It's just too much. Too many Orc stuff, plus he's got Mega Knobs. Hadixo had a relic. Yeah, are these up? Yeah, one thing again, the Ravagers aren't upgraded. Uh, they need their upgrades to kind of one-shot the chaff units. So that's another kind of bit of a. But again, his research I think needs to. The thing is, if he doesn't go book first, he needs to put a lot more pressure on Orc. Like that's the thing, guys. There's certain things you need to do. Like if you. And I mean, I kind of think Tyranids does better going book first, for the most part. I thought he was doing a rush, but he ended up not doing a rush. Meant it just kind of grabbing outposts, but. Oh. Picks up the damage relic. Whew. Big chopper. Yeah, this is the end. That's enough. So we check the graph. You see total is definitely in the favor of Sir No Sir. Again, Sir No Sir, military. So that was interesting. I mean, the reason why Hadixo was so high, because he just, the sheer amount of chaff units he had. But then they started to all die. And yeah, and it went up. But the research is huge. Like this is a very big discrepancy from both of them. So I think, you know, whatever the outcome is of the game, I think this is something that Daxio should look at. realized, okay, I need to get a little bit better science than what I had this game. Although, Orc had uh, Arctic science, so, I mean, that's hard to beat. Biowars. All right. Does he have the prime kill here? Oh, I think he does. Ah, yeah, that should seal the deal for the game, I think. Good game, kind. Yeah, I think he's saying more of good game, but I played really poorly. I think that's what he meant by that. Anyways, don't give up, Hadixo. I believe in you. Yeah, so what I think the big discrepancies I saw that game were Orc had a monopoly on research. Orc had better rock, paper, scissors. Orc boys with grenades against chaff Tyranids. Yeah, we all know how that's going to end up. The heroes weren't fully armored up or itemed up. So maybe that could have been, if he's, going heroes, you might as well invest a little bit more on